to the Homesmine. This week we're coming to you direct from the auction. That's right, we're going to market. I'll be showing you around a typical auction and checking out some of the more lucrative lots. Then I'll go head to head with Darren McKenzie, property buyer extraordinaire, in competition to predict how our bargain properties will fare. Some say the credit crunch wave has crashed and that property prices are back on the up. So if you want to buy at auction, you have to move fast, and this is how you do it. So this is where you get your catalogue from and any amendments on the day. Now, we've just found out that our first lot has actually got no central heating system, which they'd falsely advertised before, so I'm glad I checked on that one. If you've not had a chance to look at your legal documents yet, it's always good to do it on the day. Solicitors are here with all the legal packs, so have a look for any details like covenants on the properties, access issues, leasehold, freehold issues. If you're not sure, do talk to the solicitors, they will help you out with it. And then it's time to go to the bar to have a little bit of a drink to steady those nerves before you start in the auction. There is actually mortgage services here, so you can set up a mortgage on the day if you need to, and then it's into the auction room. Some people can't get enough of the auction buzz. Meet Darren McKenzie, the king of property buying.
Uh, 78 South Cross Street, Bury. Popular first-time buyer location. Resale probably in the 80 to 90 region, and its guide price is 52. So we're expecting probably some work to be done. You can see from the front door of the property that does lean slightly, and there is certainly some movement in some of the bricks. But there's no cracking, so I think any movement thus far appears to be long-standing. The roof, lead is lifted in places, so there's a little bit of work to be done. But it doesn't appear too bad, although there is a little tiny bit of sag in there. I think again it's just the age of the property. With a bit of maintenance should be okay. You're looking at the brickwork, it's old brick. I can see obviously one's pointing in areas. We can see that it's had a damp-proof course, certainly to the front of the property. With the little plugs that are in the holes there. PVC windows to the front, PVC door, which is a bonus. I say that door is slightly skew with, but these properties have probably been built 100 years. And I think most of them would have moved a little bit over 100 years. Just looking up the elevation, make sure there's no bulges, there's no serious leans out, which again, fairly straight. And now I need to have a look at the rear of the property. Looking at the back of the property, seeing that the brickwork has been painted. Again, it's old brick, it's probably 100 years old, it's Parish brick, and presumably they've painted it to make it a little bit more watertight. Ideally, that would want rendering. We've got PVC windows up top. The gutter there is peeling away as it sort of meets the chimney stack. Chimney stack wants a little bit of work on it. Again, one or two slates are starting to lift, and the ridge tiles want pointing. But general maintenance, I can't see anything that is too untoward. Now just looking at the comparables on the property, other properties that have actually sold on the street in recent times. You don't want to go too far back. Number 76 and number 74, both next door properties. They sold in the latter part of 2006 at 72 and 80,000. See, there's a sold board there, recent sold with Pearson Ferrier, which I'll take the number down and just give them a call. Yeah, that one sold at 85,000, which is pretty much more in line with my thinking, really. Now, I'll just quickly fill in a report sheet on this particular property, work out the parameters of the work, assuming what it's going to cost us to do it, because we've not been inside the property, work out the percentage profit that we require, and then come up with a figure that we're happy to bid up to at the auction.
And here's the man himself. So, are you ready for our auction challenge?
Absolutely.
Well, I'm feeling pretty confident. Don't know about you, Darren?
Bring it on.
This was the first one. Let's take a look.
Quite a tidy terrace, needs a little bit of updating but not too much. The kitchen's quite tidy, it's got central heating. From the outside it appears as though it's been rewired, although might need some updating. PVC double glazed all the way round, roof's in good order, brickwork's in reasonably good order. Looking at the guide of 40,000, I think that's very low. I think it will go for considerably more than that. And I'm going to plump for 70,000.
So it's a nice enough property. It's in an okay area where things are selling, but to be honest, inside needs a little bit of work on the decoration and stuff. Nothing too major, I don't think, but obviously it's always difficult when you're just looking from the outside. Stuff is selling still around this area. Across the road, something's gone for around 90,000. So I'm thinking it will go a lot above guide, maybe into the 70s. So I'm going to hedge my bet on 74.5 and see where we get to with that.
Quite a decent terraced house, very, very sought after location, but it is a little bit dated, in fact very dated I would say inside. Some work to do on the roof at the back, and I'm sure as you'd go around the property more work would be found to be done. So a little bit of money to be spent. I'd expect on the open market, current climate probably 120, maybe a little bit more, but this is auction, so people do want a little bit of profit. And I'm going to plump for 96,000.
So it's a nice little house. house, nothing that really worries me, sort of just looking around from the outside. Obviously there's a few cracks in the render, and render can cover up a multiple of sins, but nothing that I'd have thought was a real structural issue, no foundation problems I wouldn't have thought. Inside, it definitely needs a major update. As a rough guess, I would say electrical work, it will need a new central heating system, and it definitely needs reskimming and painting. Very old-fashioned in there. But next door but one, it's on the market at the moment for 159,000, so it's obviously going to probably go above the guide. There's going to be a little bit of profit in there for someone, and in this area it's quite possible that people might want to be looking to buy for themselves. You have to be aware of that on auction day, because people will sometimes pay a little bit more than it's worth. I'd put my bets at around the 100, 102 mark, see what happens.
Okay, lots 6 and 7, flat D and flat H, Oakley House in Sale, Cheshire. The flat market at the moment is flat, to be honest, and the market for those is not very buoyant at all. But looking at this building, it is quite a grandiose building and in a beautiful location. So I think they will sell. One thing to be a little wary of when you're buying a flat that has been converted from what looks like an old manor, is to ensure that the service charges are correct and the lease is correct, so that the external of the building, the part which you only part own, is looked after. And there are varying areas around this property that are showing signs of wear. There's quite a lot of slate that is lifted and moved. There's moss growing from some of the gutters and from some of the balconies. So I would certainly look into the service charge and make sure that the maintenance of the building is secure. I don't think they're going to go for much more than guide, but I do think they will sell. And I'm going to go for flat D, which is the 2-bedroom flat to the first floor. I'm going to go for 78,000. And for flat H, which is the vacant apartment to the second floor, I'm going to go at guide 75,000.
So it's a lovely old building we've got here, and two really nice flats. Obviously one's let out, one's not, which is going to make a big difference to sort of the people who are bidding on the properties. If you were looking to live here yourself, then maybe you might be prepared to pay a little bit more. But to be honest, at the guide price, I'd be tempted to stick around that region if I was bidding myself. The rental income on the one that's let out is $575 a month, and it has been let since 2005. So there is potential for a good rental income on that property, but it's looking a little bit tired. There's definitely some work to be done on the windows. So you are dubious about that kind of thing. The other thing with properties like this is really important to make sure you look at the legal properly before you go to auction, because you've got a service charge to think about with flats. This one's set at £50 a month, so £600 for the year, which in my opinion is probably not quite high enough for this building, because you are looking at a building that needs some work doing. The roof structure needs a little bit of sorting out, there's a bit of repointing to be done, and obviously just with old buildings in general, there's always bits of maintenance. So I would be a little bit worried about whether you could end up landed with a big bill to help with the refurb of the roof in a few years' time. So my guess for these two would be maybe the one with the rental at around 75-ish, and the unoccupied one, if someone's going for it for themselves, maybe more around the 80-85 mark. But I'm not too confident on my bids on these ones. Well, I'm still sure that my bets are more accurate than his, But let's see if he really knows his stuff.
Generally, my working week starts with research, sat at my desk on my computer. I'll take an auction catalogue with maybe 200 properties in it and narrow that down with research down to maybe 30 or 40 properties that I want to visit. This one is Volley Road in Middleton, ex-corporation, semi-detached. I'll then plan my route out, where I'm going to go, and then set about travelling around the country looking at each and every one of those properties. First impressions, looks like it's been re-roofed, which is good. Brickwork looks in reasonable order. I'm looking down the gable to try and get a straight line, slight splay out towards the rear, but it's reasonably straight. All the windows are boarded, but you can see underneath the boarding they are PVC. I'm just going to have a look in the front window. Some damage internally. The water system's been drained down. Do not use stickers on it, which would lead me to think that this is a repossession. You know, there'll be a chunk of the auction that won't fit what we're actually looking for anyway, so we can cross them out straight away. And then the rest of the houses, I'll start on the land registry sites, looking at what properties sold for in the particular areas, if they're not areas that I'm already aware of and know. Look at the average prices in an area, look at the guide price of the property that's going to auction, see if that guide price allows for a decent profit, if, as and when I get to the property, it does fall into those brackets. You'll get a number of properties at auction that have perhaps a decent investment for a small investor, somebody wants to rent something out, but there's not necessarily any profit margin in there, so they'll be sort of crossed off the list. Any particular areas that I know that aren't particularly bad due to location, or they've got subsidence problems, we scratch those off the list, and then end up with the select few that I then want to go and visit. Repossession, yeah. I mean, repossessions that in the old days could be sold very cheaply, but the banks and building societies, thankfully, for the sake of the previous owners, now get 3 valuations on a repossession to ensure that they're not selling it under value.
Has it affected you?
Well, the current housing market, there is certainly a lack of confidence, undoubtedly. There's been a little bit of a slowdown, but we are certainly of the opinion that this will be short term. It's mainly caused by the credit crunch with the banks running out of money, more to do with actually people not wanting to buy or invest in property, and the tightening of the credit control. I think that one way or another will right itself, whether it's through government getting involved or whatever. And certainly the Labour government, with the election due in the next 12 months, certainly can't afford a housing crash. So we think it will be a short-term blip, things will improve. But during this blip, it's made my life easier really in finding properties at a better price, because there are certainly less buyers around and less buyers vying for those same properties.
Right, it's auction time, and our first lot's about to begin, so are you ready to be humiliated, Darren?
Let's go see.
And you get your property heated, so it's not got its own physical central heating boiler. Guide on this, 40,000. I'm going to take 40,000, who's going to give me 40? 40 bid, 42 anywhere, 42, 42, 44, 46, 46, 48, 48, 50.
It's moving quickly.
52, 54, 56, 58, 60, 62, 64, 66,
Are you anywhere near?
66, 68, 70.
Come on.
70, 72, 74.
It's
Come
flying.
on, it's 72, I'm going to sell. It's 72,000,
One for me.
73, 73, 74, 75, 76.
And I win that one.
76,
Thank you very much.
77, 78, 79, at 78,000, then 78, 79, at 80, at 80,000, at 81. No, at £80,000, I'll take half, 80,000.
Double the
It's in the market. 80,500, 80,500, 81. At 81,000 seated, then 81 and a half anyway.
They've got a bit mad on that.
81,000 I have seated, 81 and a half. It's going to be sold. Make no mistake, 81,000. At £81,000 for the first time, 81 and a half. At 81 and a half, 82. At 82, 82 and a half. 83. At 83, whoa, come back in. 84. At 84,000 then. 84 and a half. 84 and a half anyway. At 84,000 for the
The wait will be all day, don't you worry about that.
84 and a half, 85. At 85,000 then. No, at 85,000 then.
I can't.
At £85,000 then for the first time. At 85,000 for the second and final time. And we all done at £85,000. 85 and a half. At 85 and a half, 86. At 86. At 86 and a half again.
Three-story one. It's just gone for
It's against you at 86, give you 86 and a half. Wasn't
Not
yourself,
at all.
this lady, at 86 and a half then. At 86 and a half bid then. At 86 and a half thousand.
They've not
87.
done their research though, you know.
Don't pay. 87,000 then. At 87 then for the first time. Second time at 87,000. We all done at £87,000. Your property at 87,000 and your paddle number please.
Right. I win.
Paddle
Nicely
341.
Thank
At £87,000. Second floor park, piece bit of work. Good little location, nice area. It's the first one of two in this building today that we're selling. Guide on this is 75,000. Who's going to make the bid? Give me 60. 65 I have now. 70 then. 83 and a half, 84. 5250, 85 and a half. 85, 750. Are we all done? Are we all out? Your property, sir.
Well, both out of that one.
May I see your paddle number, please?
But you're going to win the next one as well.
Of course.
1, 4, 2 bedroom, first floor flat. Income £575 a month. Guys, 75 is going to start me. We all know where the last one sold is. Going to give us 70. 76, 77. 95,000 for the first time. 95 and a half. 96. Going up. 100,000. 100 and a half. 100 and a half. Going at £101,000. It's your property at £101,000. And your paddle number, sir. 303. Okay. Bid by the gentleman in the middle, 75 I'll take. 70 I have, 75 anywhere. Second time at 96 and a half, we all done at 96 and a half thousand. Well, I can tell you we're very exceptionally close on that one.
It didn't sell.
Paddle number 32, 392.
So, our lots have gone through. Darren, you lost, clearly. How do you feel?
Yes, I think you win 2-1 overall.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you very much. Well, you know, don't be a sore loser.
I want a rematch.
There are lots of bargains out there at the moment, so why don't you have a go? And we'll see you next time on Homesmine.